Welcome back to Runaway Roses. I'm Todd, and if you're interested in truck campers, you want to find out what the best turnbuckle is for a truck camper, you're going to want to see this. Stick around. If you have a truck camper or you're interested in getting a truck camper and you want to know what the best turnbuckle is to fasten your camper down to your truck, well, you just found it. It's the new Torklift FastGun Apex model. These things are fantastic, heavy duty. Torklift had a great original FastGun model. I love those, but they have made some fantastic improvements on these. Love the new improvements. And it's got a lot of really cool features, so let's check it out. We've already been out camping and used these new FastGun Apex turnbuckles, and they worked great. I love that they're pre-tensioned at 300 pounds, and there's a mark in there, so when you lock the lever down, you know you don't have too much pressure or too little pressure, and you got it exactly where it needs to be. I will put a link to Torklift's website below, so you can check these out and order them from there. I'll also show you how these work in action here in just a moment. But let's go ahead and take a little closer look at all the new features. When you order a set of the Torklift FastGun Apex, you're getting a set of spring-loaded lever action turnbuckles. So there is an internal spring in there which makes it safer for you to tie down your truck camper to your truck. And these new models are pre-tensioned at 300 pounds of tension, so you're not putting too little or too much pressure when you snug down the levers. It does still have the original style quick disconnect and connect lever. Love that about those, but a big change is they have a barrel here, so when the ends are hooked on both ends, all you have to do is rotate the barrel to snug it up or loosen it up just a little bit. You don't have to disconnect the hook and rotate the hook anymore. So it's just going to make it even faster to get them exactly where you need it as far as getting it snugged up. And then when you get it snugged, you can actually adjust the tension. When it's on the truck, it'll separate right here, and then there's a tension mark inside there to know that you're exactly at the pre-tensioned 300 pounds of tension. So really love that about the new FastGun Apex. That's a big feature, knowing exactly how much tension to put on the turnbuckle, because you don't want to have too much, and this could cause damage on your camper, but you don't want to have too little because you need it snug and tight for when you're traveling. So that is a great new feature. Love that. The whole top of it, this whole thing is all brand new, but it's even heavier duty than even the original. So, and the overall length of it, you know, without the rod, is shorter. So I really like that. So you can actually use these with a full length application with some frame mounts on a pickup truck, or you can cut the rod and use it with a shorter application on maybe a flatbed truck. Yeah, so having it shorter where you can just make the hook, you know, 3 or 4 inches past the end of the turnbuckle and get it exactly where you need, that's a big feature. It does come with the safety pins to put through the handle down here. These new FastGun Apex also work with the Apex anchors that you put on the internal on a bed, so you can use these with the Torklift frame mounts on a normal pickup, or you can also use them with the Apex anchors. So they're versatile as far as, you know, what type of setup you're going to have. So that's another big feature about these new ones. Just like the other FastGuns in the past, on the label here it has the markers where you can mark whether it's driver front, driver rear, passenger front, passenger rear, so that way you can use the exact same one in the same position each time. Just makes life a little bit easier. These new FastGun Apex do come with the instructions on how to assemble them. Basically, the rod does not come in them assembled, so you just screw the rod in. And it does tell you how to cut the rod shorter if you need to. You can use them full length like I am, or you can cut them shorter if you need a shorter rod for a different application. And it is pretty simple. If you're handy, you can cut it with a hacksaw or a grinder with a cutoff wheel and that sort of thing. And you want to have that does come with this screw or this nut right there, So you want to have that on there, cut it, and then spin that nut off so that it straightens the threads out at the end, you know, after you file it and clean it up, and then just screw the rod back in, whatever length you need it. These FastGun Apex are stainless steel, so you know it's going to be strong and it's going to help prevent from any rusting. Well, now that you've seen these new Apex turnbuckles up close, let's take a look at them in action with my truck and truck camper, and you can see how to adjust them to get the proper tension. I'm currently using the FastGun Apex with the full length rod on there. However, you can cut them down if you need to. I have it connected to the bottom of our camper and then connected to the Torklift frame mount down there on the bottom with a couple links to take up some space. So let's go ahead and zoom in and take a closer look. These FastGun Apex are the best on the market in my opinion, and let me show you why. I mean, they do come with the pin, the safety pin there, so let me set that down. But why I think they're so great is a feature that's new to the FastGuns is not just the quick release lever, which is not new, but what is new is you can actually take it and adjust it by turning the barrel. So you can tighten it or loosen it, so that way you don't have to disconnect it at the top or the bottom to turn the rod to actually snug it up into the spot where you need it. See, now it's a little bit too tight. I can just loosen it up a little bit and then tighten it down. And as you can see, they do have these little grooves in here, and these grooves are actually locked in place by the handle. Right here you can see where the handle locks in position around that barrel at the bottom of the handle right here, so that when you lock it down, it locks it in those grooves, keeps the barrel from moving. So this barrel cannot spin with that handle down in the locked position and then just put the pin through the top, and the FastGun Apex is locked in place and it is not going to go anywhere. On the inside, I'll try to zoom in closer, but you can see the little tensioner mark inside that split there. So when you tighten it down, there's a tensioner mark in there at 300 pounds of pressure. As I zoom in, you can see that little ring right there at the top of the barrel here. So that way, when you have the proper tension, you line that up, you know you're exactly at 300 pounds, right where it needs to be, not too little, not too much. Another big reason why I really like these FastGun Apex is because they're shorter. The overall length of it is shorter, and you can always just cut the length of the arm if you need to, but the reason why I like that it's shorter is because if you have a flatbed truck, which we've had a couple of them, obviously we don't have one now, but if we were to get a flatbed to put on here, the anchor system is typically going to be different, the way you're going to tie your truck camper down. So, and in most cases, you don't need a longer turnbuckle. So you could actually just cut the rod short and to whatever length that you need. And then that way, these being the length that they are will actually work with a flatbed much easier because you have a shorter distance that you have to tie the camper down. So just being able to hook them up, adjust the barrel, and then tighten them down, and you can make it so that the hook is only 16 to 21 inches or whatever it was. I think the one we had on our other flatbed that we had, I think it was around 21 inches of the length that we needed, so we could actually just adjust these and these would work perfect. So these can work with a full length application if you need to, or you can shorten the rod and adjust them and use them perfect with a flatbed application. So I really think that's a big bonus for these. They're not cheap, but they're very versatile and they're heavy duty, and they're definitely the best ones on the market. If you want to make sure that your camper's tied down good and secure, these are definitely the way to go with these new Apex turnbuckles. Well, I haven't seen a new truck camper turnbuckle out in a long time, so I was very excited to see these new Torklift FastGun Apex turnbuckles. These things are just heavy duty, very stout, very impressive, and a game changer with this barrel right here where you can just loosen it or snug it up. You don't have to undo one of the ends to actually adjust it. You can just do it right there on the truck. Just tension it up, put the pin through it, lock it in place. And speaking of tension, being pre-tensioned to 300 pounds, so you know exactly how much to snug it up. That is another game changer there. So super excited about these. They're heavy duty, so they'll work with some big heavy duty campers as well. So I'll put a link to the Torklift website where you can purchase these. Torklift does have some other options as well, but if you want the best on the market, the heavy dutiest, if that's a word, on the market, this is the one to get. So please go check out that link, and thanks for hanging out watching. Please like, subscribe, share if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye bye.